making the headlines. Anna Foster, thank you very much. You are watching BBC News. We'll have more on the conflict in Gaza shortly, but first let's take a moment to look at some other stories making the headlines today. And the actor Matthew Perry, best known for playing Chandler Bing in the hit 90s TV sitcom Friends, has died at the age of 54. The actor was found dead at his home in Los Angeles. First reports suggest he was found unresponsive in a hot tub at his home. Warner Brothers, the company which made Friends, said he was an incredibly gifted actor with iconic genius, comic genius even, which would live on. Louisa Pilbeam looks back on his life.
As Chandler in 90s sitcom Friends, Matthew Perry was catapulted to worldwide fame along with his co-stars. It became one of the most watched TV shows of all time, running for 10 seasons. And Chandler Bing was known for his sarcastic humour.
All right, so I'm back in high school. I'm standing in the middle of the cafeteria, and I realize I am totally naked.
Oh, yeah.
I've had that dream.
Then I look down, and I realize there is a phone there.
But in the early hours of today, US media reported that the actor was found dead in his hot tub. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed to the BBC that a man in his 50s was unresponsive in a water emergency at the actor's home. Warner Brothers TV, which produced Friends, said they are devastated by the actor's passing, saying he was a true gift to us all and that their heart goes out to his family, loved ones and all of his fans.
I just came up to say hi. Hi.
His co-star Maggie Wheeler, who played Chandler's girlfriend Janice in Friends, said Perry brought joy to so many in his too short lifetime.
I can't stand the woman.
Despite his success, Perry was, by his own admission, a tormented man, writing in his autobiography about battling drink and drug addictions throughout his decade filming Friends. When Perry reunited with his co-stars for Friends The Reunion 2 years ago, he spoke about his troubles.
I felt like I was going to die if they didn't laugh. And it's not healthy, for sure. But I would sometimes say a line and they wouldn't laugh, and I would sweat and just like go into convulsions. If I didn't get the laugh I was supposed to get, I would freak out.
It would take you down.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us that.
Would it
No?
hurt?
No, I don't remember you ever saying that.
Oh, yeah. I felt like that every single night.
We got some time. Okay, should we get some coffee?
Sure.
Perry went on to star in a string of successful Hollywood films, but it is Friends that brought him international fame, and Chandler Bing, who made so many people laugh around the world.
On Hollywood Boulevard, a few hours after his passing, fans of the TV series Friends remembered Matthew Perry and his iconic character, Chandler.
He wasn't glamorous, he was, you know, just your average Joe, and so I think he was relatable for a lot of people as somebody that, as a character that, you know, you could feel the things he was feeling, and then he turned it into comedy and made you laugh.
Chandler was more real for me. You can see Chandler in every people on the street sometimes, you know what I mean?
He had more of the insecurities than the others. And I think there was an honesty kind of to that in terms of being lucky in love and using sarcasm to deal with trauma and pain and kind of difficult childhood.
I mean, I think that he is an incredible actor. He made millions of people laugh, also like all over the world. And I think one of the things that is a lesser known impact that he had was that he taught a lot of people English. I always hear stories about people watching Friends in other countries because it was syndicated all over the world, and that's how they learned English. And I feel like that's like a underappreciated part of his legacy.
Well, Caroline Faraday is an entertainment journalist based in Los Angeles, and she gave us her thoughts on the news following the death of Matthew Perry.
If you think back to the 90s, Friends was the sitcom of the 90s, and that final episode of Friends had a viewing audience of over 54 million people in America. Just that episode, if you think what a worldwide hit it was and how it is never off our TVs ever since, and they have all of the stars really have become quite kind of timeless, because we still think of them as the age they were when they were in Friends, because it's on TV so often. Matthew Perry was an A-lister who was very well liked. Nobody seems to have a bad word to have said about him when they have encountered him, when they've worked with him, when they've had to interview him. He said in a previous interview that he wanted his legacy to be if somebody bumped into him, that they would just say, he's a nice guy. And that does seem to be what his legacy is, that people are saying, he's a nice guy. Yes, he had his demons. He spoke openly about his demons and he wrote in his autobiography. It was almost like therapy, I think, for him when he released his autobiography a year ago, where he talked in depth about his demons. He talked a lot about the pain that he'd gone through. He talked a lot about the millions that he's spent on going to rehab and trying to get through that. And I think what is clear from all of the tributes to him is not only the shock that he has died so young, but how much he was loved.
And that was Caroline Faraday there. Survivors and the families of